Hi, this is Robert Jean. Hey, I want to welcome you to this video. I'm in Oklahoma, of course, and I'm sitting in my office, and I've had a lot of people write me and they talk about imposter syndrome or the imposter phenomenon. Now, let me kind of explain how the mind works. Now, of course, the word syndrome actually means disorder, not working right. But the truth is, you're working perfectly fine. But the problem is that you're doing something internally to create this concept called imposter syndrome. Now, what is it? First of all, let me again share with you about the mind. All right, so our brain has this amazing capacity to categorize, organize, and to operate from different states of mind, different states of being, such as when you're driving your car, you're a driver, you just drive. When you're in the kitchen, you cook. When you're at school, you learn and you do whatever it is. So this concept of imposter syndrome, or the imposter concept, is that when you're raised up in an emotional environment, let's say at home, and let's say home life is a crazy life, all right? You may have a mother who's not very positive and she's always finding something wrong with you. Hopefully, you'll improve that something wrong with you. So there's always pointing out what's wrong. And then what happens is when you leave home, you go to school. Well, the problem with school is that you're learning it's a different world, a different environment, and you're going to act and perform totally different unless you take your mother with you in your mind. So you go to school, and actually, let's say school is actually good. And then you go back home, it's not so good. So now you had created a personality or a style of thinking or a behavior. All right, so even while you're at school, you're learning, let's say you're having fun, you create a new state of operation. And let's say you go to university, and again, you got the two worlds. One world is the negativity or the negative self-image, but at school, you're actually studying to be a doctor. And so you know how to study, you study really well, you make all the tests and pass and do really great at that. But then what happens oftentimes is that we bring in the internal world from home. Now we're finding fault with you, finding fault with yourself, you're treating yourself in an unhealthy way, and then all of a sudden people at the doctor says, "Oh my God, you're so amazing," but inside yourself you have that internal processing that, "No, I'm not. There's something wrong with me." So now we've got what we would consider imposter syndrome. Now there's many other ways. Another one is, let's say a young child, they were heavy, obese, they ate a lot because it was a great emotional escape, made them feel better. And then you go to school, you're picked on, and somehow you discover some system, some way that actually help you lose weight. Or maybe later in life, and so now you're working out all the time, you're doing the dieting, and now you're thin, but in your mind you're still fat, all right? You're a fraud. And this is what happens. We have what you call the internal conflict. And sometimes what we do is we create an identity within ourselves, an image within ourselves, not updating our great successes, that we learn how to do this, and we're not taking any praise, because any praise comes your way, boom, you push it away because you really don't know who I am. Because inside you have images of yourself, you have the negative self-talk. No matter how good you are, you're still not good enough. No matter how great you are, you're still not good enough. So this imposter syndrome is created by the brain's natural way of processing information. Everyone does it in different areas of our life. You may look at how many of you guys, especially if you want to lose weight, and you always thought you were fat, even when you're a small kid, but when you look at the images, you are not fat. But inside your mind, you are fat. All right, so therefore you grew up into that fatness or overweightness, and then now you still pick on yourself, still thinking something's wrong because you created this identity and value system. Or, fake it until you make it. So you may go and you may, whatever it is that you may do, you may try to pretend to be good. Everybody thinks you're good, but inside you, you're still a phony. Because you didn't know, but you discovered how to be very good at that. So again, there's this weirdness to the brain. And the way to fix this and to solve this is, one, you got to get rid of this idea that you have to be perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. As a matter of fact, perfection is the lowest standard you could ever have because, one, you can never achieve it. I always say, do your best. Work towards excellent. Do your excellent job today, and you may look at it later and say, wow, I could do it and improve it this way. That doesn't mean you're not perfect, because perfect doesn't exist. You're perfect within your imperfections. And if you don't like what your imperfections are, make peace with it. Adjust it. Change what you have in your mind. You change your behavior. So the imposter syndrome, this idea that you got to be perfect, it doesn't exist. So always work the best you can be. Even in my life, I could pick on things about myself, and like my oldest son said, Dad, your stuff isn't perfect when you put it out. I would wait until it is. I said, if I did that, there'd be nothing put out. So I say, do your best and improve. Accept yourself. Now, here's how you got to solve the riddle of this crazy story. First of all, understanding that memories are not stuck, real, and permanent. Discover the neuroplasticity of the mind. That means you can update and change memories if you know how. And of course, I teach the 6 ways of re-imprinting or rewriting memories and updating them. Knowing also that everything inside you is you. That means if you have a memory of your mom yelling at you, who's yelling at you? It's not your mom. It's you within you. So you can update and change your mother. You can update and change any memories inside your mind. Now, that doesn't mean you change the past. You can't change something that actually doesn't exist because it's over. It's gone. But you can change what you hold up here, how you internalize up here, the voices inside yourself, the images you create, the movies you play, and the sensations your mind creates within the body. All of these are changeable and adjustable if you know how. And of course, if you don't know how, guess what you can't do? You'll be trying therapy after therapy after therapy after therapy and after therapy, and they didn't show you how to change the memory. They taught you how to live with it, deal with it, and accept it. I don't know about you. I'm ready for something better. And the way to get something better is noticing that your internal dialogue is learned from where you come from. Your images or the movies or the concepts you hold inside your mind are learned, and they're adjustable. So learning how to like yourself, love yourself from within yourself is the first step of neuroplasticity. I'm holding this memory. I'm doing this memory to me. I'm replicating this in my life. And if you get tired of it, change it. So I created Eutaptics Faster of T. It's the #1 healing modality as far as fast neuroplastic changes. And the cool thing is, it's simple. I teach kids to do this. And if kids can do this, of course we all can, because we all need to learn how to be in control of the self. As the sages always said, know thyself. And this is how. Go within the self, make adjustments within yourself, inside your mind, and as you do that, you recreate the real self, which is very adjustable. So I always say, who are you? And I'm going to say who you are. You're a dynamic person who's always creating, always manifesting, starting with what you have in there. And if you have not so good stuff in there, it's time to update. Update yourself. Your body changes every 7 years. All the cells are replaced. I think you should change your mind every day. By the time 7 years ahead, you won't even recognize yourself because you've redesigned your whole life and your whole world by learning how to drive yourself from within yourself. This is Robert Jean from the great state of Oklahoma, and I want to invite you, come and learn how to redesign your life. You can get rid of physical pains, diagnosed illnesses. We have several people blood tested, blood proven illness there. Blood tested, blood proven, gone. Physical pains, relationships, finances, your personal value. Your authentic self is a dynamic person who's changing and adjusting. Come join us. Your life will get amazingly better. Peace.